Tickets for AEW Grand Slam Australia reportedly are not selling well, with ticket sales described as not good. MVP, the former WWE superstar, makes his AEW debut last night during AEW Dynamite Grand Slam at Arthur Ashe Stadium. He has since been confirmed to beat All Elite. Bryan Danielson taps out Nigel McGuinness in the show's opening match last night. Jon Moxley defeats Darby Allin in the main event and will challenge for Bryan Danielson's AEW World Championship at the upcoming WrestleDream pay-per-view. AJ Styles' future in professional wrestling reportedly looks uncertain, with his WWE contract set to expire either later this year or early next year. The Young Bucks retained the AEW World Tag Team Championships last night. Hook retains and then retires the FTW Championship at Dynamite Grand Slam. Mariah May retains the AEW Women's World Championship. We've got the ratings for Tuesday's episode of NXT, the final episode on USA Network. Roman Reigns has been announced for several upcoming episodes of Friday Night SmackDown. An update on Alexa Bliss's status in WWE after some speculation she could be added to the Wyatt Six faction. And an update on the possibility of an in-ring return for former WWE Champion Big E. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with ticket sales regarding AEW Grand Slam Australia. Now, of course, last night we had Dynamite Grand Slam, and Collision Grand Slam will be this weekend. Of course, that was taped last night as well. But what about the next Grand Slam event? And it's going to be overseas and international stadium event. Well, AEW Grand Slam Australia tickets reportedly are not looking so good. While exact figures are unknown, ticket sales for AEW Grand Slam Australia are, quote, not good, according to a report from Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio. After being asked by Brian Alvarez how ticket sales have been, Meltzer said, quote, not good. Stadium shows are tough. It's not England, where they have like a very large fan base and you have all of Europe to draw from as well. This is Australia, and the only place you can sort of draw from may be New Zealand, and that's still a flight. It's not like Japan is close and you've not got a lot of countries close. It was an ambitious idea, but I remember when it was announced, I thought this was going to be really tough. Now, tickets for AEW Grand Slam Australia have been on sale for the past couple of weeks. The show will emanate from Brisbane's Suncorp Stadium on Saturday, February 15th, 2025. Suncorp Stadium is mostly used for rugby and football and has a capacity of 52,500. The record attendance is 59,185 for an Ed Sheeran concert. All Elite Wrestling has struggled in ticket sales throughout 2024, with the exception of major events. Attendances for Dynamite and Collision tapings in the United States are down from 2023. Now, going back to Grand Slam, this time the Grand Slam edition of Dynamite, where we saw the debut in AEW of MVP. Prince Nana appeared during AEW Dynamite Grand Slam to provide an update on Swerve Strickland's status, but the segment was more notable for the AEW debut of MVP. Strickland was last seen in the viciously bloody lights-out steel cage match against Hangman Page, losing after taking a hypodermic needle through his cheek and all manner of extreme bumps prior. Nana confirmed that he was not in good condition after the match and was recovering, noting that he had lost his world championship, his home had burned down, and suffered his brutal loss to Page in a matter of weeks. He was then interrupted by the debuting MVP, lauding Strickland for his title reign throughout the year before lamenting Nana for allowing him to go through what he did. It became clear why he was disparaging Strickland's manager when he handed his business card over, telling Nana to pass it on to his client so they can talk business. MVP's AEW debut swiftly follows previous reporting that fellow Hurt Business members in WWE, Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley, had been in negotiations to join the promotion. MVP's Totally Harmless Concept LLC has also filed to trademark the Hurt Syndicate, which only adds to the idea they could soon follow to All Elite Wrestling. Now, indeed, it has been confirmed by Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select that indeed MVP has signed with the company and is indeed All Elite. Bryan Danielson tapped out his long-term rival Nigel McGuinness last night. Arthur Ashe Stadium waited with bated breath as Bryan Danielson's entrance music came and went. Nigel McGuinness demanded a 10-count be held, but as the referee began to utter 6, the iconic notes of the final countdown rang out throughout New York. At long last, Danielson appeared in an AEW ring to lock horns with the veteran McGuinness, and the AEW World Champion walked out of Wednesday's edition of Dynamite Grand Slam with a victory, his 12 singles victory over McGuinness dating back to 2006. McGuinness targeted multiple of Danielson's injuries over the course of the match, most notably Danielson's neck, which was heavily taped, and his right arm, which was injured in a match against Kazuchika Okada at Forbidden Door 2023. The AEW World Champion shocked Arthur Ashe after he kicked out of a successfully rebounded clothesline from McGuinness at 1. Danielson continued to fight, managing to escape several more finish attempts for McGuinness. Things unraveled for the English veteran after both men collapsed after yet another pinfall attempt. Danielson contorted McGuinness's straight arm into a label lock, to which McGuinness tapped out. Now, as Danielson successfully celebrated this match, Christian Cage appeared, the AEW World Championship contract in hand. Unfortunately, before AEW's father figure could sign the contract, Kip Sabian appeared to steal his pen. Cage pursued Sabian backstage, only to be met by the cold glares of Pac and Claudio Castagnoli of the Blackpool Combat Club infamy. The Blackpool Combat Club, of course, betrayed Danielson at All Out 2024, but neither Pac nor Castagnoli interacted with Danielson following Wednesday's match. Now, speaking of the former Blackpool Combat Club, Jon Moxley will be Danielson's next challenger for the AEW World Championship. Jon Moxley defeated Darby Allin and took his guaranteed shot at the AEW World Championship from him in the main event of Dynamite Grand Slam on Wednesday. Following Moxley's victory, champion Bryan Danielson attacked him from behind and choked him with a necktie as a homage to his WWE firing in 2010, and in retaliation for Moxley's heel turn on Danielson when he choked him out with a plastic bag at All Out. Marina Shafir attempted to pull Danielson off Moxley, and the rest of the Blackpool Combat Club, including Pac and Claudio Castagnoli, came to their aid. The BCC started beating down and choking Danielson while Moxley recovered, but private parties Zay and Quen alongside Commander ran down to help Danielson with the numbers game. Noticeably absent was Danielson's friend and AEW Trios champion alongside Castagnoli and Pac, Wheeler Yuta. As the groups brawled, Moxley and Danielson were the only two left in the ring, but Shafir pulled Moxley out before Danielson could do more damage. Danielson got on the mic in the ring, and while Moxley and the rest of the BCC retreated, he said that Moxley wanted a war, and now Danielson was declaring war. He said Moxley has his match at WrestleDream in Tacoma, Washington, and Danielson said he was going to kick his former friend's effing ass. Now, switching over to WWE here, AJ Styles' future in professional wrestling, reportedly according to Sean Ross Sapp, looks uncertain. Styles has been off WWE television for a number of months, leading many to question where he's been as of late. When Fightful asked, they were told reportedly that he's healthy, off television, and enjoying time with his family. He did work the Japan live event tour, working title matches with Cody Rhodes, but has largely been off WWE television since Clash at the Castle. Those within the industry that Fightful have spoken with are of the belief that AJ Styles' WWE contract is up either late this year or early next year. Fightful say they've not heard if there have been efforts to re-sign him or if he plans on moving forward or any plans for him moving forward. Fightful are working to clarify the status of his contract, but numerous influential names within the industry and some who have worked with Styles believe that his contract is up this year. Now, going back to Grand Slam last night, the Young Bucks are still the AEW World Tag Team Champions. The Young Bucks retained their AEW Tag Team Championships over Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher on Wednesday, though their opponents put up a fight to capture the gold. Nicholas Jackson and Ospreay started off the match, but it didn't take long for everyone to be in the ring before the Bucks took down Ospreay and Fletcher. The challengers retaliated with a pair of moonsaults off the top to both Nicholas and Matthew on the outside. When everyone was back in the ring, the Bucks hit a senton powerbomb combo to Ospreay, but Fletcher broke up the pin and was dumped out of the ring for his troubles. Ospreay hit a double Oz cutter to the Bucks, but was on the receiving end of a Canadian destroyer from Matthew. Ospreay recovered and hit a hidden blade to him. The Bucks were able to hit a TK driver to Fletcher on the ring apron, and with Ospreay down, the team was almost counted out before Fletcher dove back in the ring at the count of 9. Ospreay and Fletcher came at the Young Bucks with a flurry of offense, but both Matthew and Nicholas kicked out at various times. Fletcher hit a brainbuster on Matthew, but Nicholas broke up the pin and moved to the outside. Fletcher caught him with a dive, and Don Callis, who was on commentary, attempted to hand a screwdriver to Fletcher, but Ospreay stopped his friend from using it. Nicholas hit Fletcher with one of the championships, and the Bucks hit Fletcher with super kicks and the BTE trigger while he was still stunned to get the victory. Now, we have one less title in All Elite Wrestling, that being the FTW Championship. On Wednesday's AEW Dynamite Grand Slam, FTW champion Hook retained the title in a hard-fought battle against Roderick Strong. Strong shared a moment of respect following, shaking Hook's hand after submitting to the Red Room hold. After the match, Hook stood up in front of the Queens, New York crowd and declared that the time had come to retire the title. After he did so, Hook hugged his father, AEW broadcaster, and the bout's originator Taz in an emotional display. AEW revived the title back in 2020, initially won by Team Taz's Brian Cage. Since then, Hook has gone on to be a 3-time champion, feuding with the likes of Jack Perry and Chris Jericho over the title. Hook's recent reign began on August 25th when he defeated Chris Jericho to regain the title at Wembley Stadium, thanks to help from his father. Taz had initially created the belt in the 1990s while Taz was in ECW. The belt had been most famous for the brutal feud between Taz and Sabu, who had heavily lauded matches for the Vanity Championship. Now, Mariah May, she is still the AEW Women's World Champion after defeating Timeless Toni Storm for the AEW Women's World Championship at All In 2024. Mariah May has locked up with several of AEW's best in her 32-day reign. On Wednesday's edition of AEW Dynamite Grand Slam, Arthur Ashe saw May add another victory to her impressive resume as the Glamour retained her title in a high-energy fight against Yuka Sakazaki. Sakazaki wasted no time in starting the match as she dived onto May during the champion's entrance. May responded in kind with a series of chops and drop kicks as she began to close the energy gap between herself and the magical girl. Sakazaki's energy waned as May's dominance grew over the course of the match, and a Storm Zero from the champion allowed for the Glamour to successfully retain her title. May was not satisfied with her victory over Sakazaki, however. After a brief post-match celebration, May get up to strike Sakazaki, AEW Women's World Championship in hand. Willow Nightingale responded in kind and dashed to the ring to stand nose-to-nose with the Glamour. Arthur Ashe erupted as Mina Shirakawa's music echoed through its speakers, and May took advantage of her friend's return to strike Nightingale with the title. Shirakawa appeared on the ramp and was confused as May dashed out to greet her previous love affair. Sakazaki also left the ring to make her way towards the ramp, and the two Japanese wrestlers had a brief argument before May whisked Shirakawa away. Now let's talk about the ratings for Tuesday's episode of NXT. Of course, it was the final episode of WWE's developmental brand on USA Network. WWE NXT held its final episode on the USA Network after 5 years on the cable channel, and a portion of the audience appeared to take a break ahead of next week's highly stacked debut on the CW. WrestleNomics reports that NXT was down 8% overall from last week, with only 620,000 viewers tuning in compared to last week's 677,000. In the 18-49 demographic, NXT was down 10%, as the show scored a 0.19 in that coveted demographic compared to last week's 0.21. As it stands, NXT is down 11% in overall viewership compared to this time last year, as the show heads into its broadcast television debut. October 1st, we'll see Rosemont, Illinois' All-State Arena play host to the show's premiere on the CW. The first 2 weeks that will see NXT tour to Rosemont, Illinois and St. Louis, Missouri to celebrate the new media rights deal. Former WWE champions Randy Orton and CM Punk will be involved in the shows, with Punk playing special referee for the Rosemont main event, while Orton will take on Javon Evans in St. Louis. There is a game of musical chairs occurring in WWE for its media rights, as NXT is leaving the USA Network, just as USA gained SmackDown earlier this month. USA will play host to both Raw and SmackDown for the remainder of 2024, until Raw heads to Netflix on January 6th to the tune of $5 billion. Raw will shrink to 2 hours starting in October until the extended contract with USA Network expires. Speaking of SmackDown, Roman Reigns has been advertised for a series of shows. The original Tribal Chief is back, and it appears that Roman Reigns will not be taking another break after the upcoming Bad Blood PLE, as he prepares for war against his family in the Bloodline and the man who usurped his throne, Solo Sikoa. According to PW Insider, Reigns has been announced for every SmackDown date from October 11th through November 22nd. This means Reigns will not be going anywhere between Bad Blood and November Survivor Series on November 30th. With this schedule, Reigns will likely be involved in the Crown Jewel event in Saudi Arabia in early November. The length between Reigns' recent appearances makes his return to SmackDown more notable. Reigns returned to WWE at SummerSlam following a lengthy hiatus after losing the undisputed WWE Championship at WrestleMania 40, helping Cody Rhodes defeat Solo Sikoa. Reigns repeated the effort on the recent episode of SmackDown, this time in a steel cage, leading to Reigns teaming with his former rival Rhodes to take on Sikoa and Jacob Fatu in a massive tag team match at the October 5th event. Now, Alexa Bliss. What is the status of Alexa Bliss at the moment? There's been quite a lot of confusion as to if and when she'll return to WWE television. As the Wyatt Six continue to wreak havoc on Raw, some wonder about the whereabouts of former Bray Wyatt ally Alexa Bliss. Bliss recently took to Instagram to make a cryptic post that has some wondering if she'll be returning to the ring soon. According to a report on PW Insider's Elite section, however, Bliss is not expected to be back in WWE anytime soon. Sources tell PW Insider there are currently no creative plans in place for Bliss, and one source told the publication that the company's tendency to maximize storylines means the former Raw Women's Champion likely wouldn't return to the company until after the holidays at the earliest. Bliss's trademark Lily doll was seen backstage in a segment on Monday's Raw, so it's possible Easter eggs are being laid, teasing her return in the future. Bliss's Instagram post is also not the first she sent out recently, teasing a comeback. Now, Bliss has been gone from WWE programming for nearly 2 years, last appearing in a match against Bianca Belair at the Royal Rumble. Though no one knew it at the time, the late Bray Wyatt wrestled his final televised match that night too. Bliss's connection to the former WWE champion has been played up by the Uncle Howdy character before she was pulled from television after getting pregnant. And finally, speaking of returns, Big E. Could we finally see potentially former WWE champion Big E return to in-ring competition? Now, tensions have been brewing on Storyline TV between Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods on Raw in recent weeks, with a potential split-up of the New Day heavily teased. The tensions have also led to a lot of speculation that Big E may make his return to television to steer the pair straight, and he's now provided an update on a potential in-ring return. Speaking to Sports Talk Philly, he said, quote, "More than anything, I'm just taking every day as it comes. I know that sounds like a cliche, but I get scans in another 3 to 6 months, and if they look great and the doctors say it's healthy for me to go back, then that's something where we'd sit down and talk about it. But I try not to spend too much time worrying about things I can't control. It's nice to know that if I get the opportunity to get back in the ring, I can do it healthily. Then let's do that. Let's attack it fully. But if not, I know exactly what I want to do, and I'm excited about that path too." Of course, Big E suffered a broken neck on SmackDown in March of 2022 following a botched belly-to-belly suplex from Ridge Holland, and has not competed since. But there you go, guys. Latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right-hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.